Because Brock Purdy was obviously awful last night. And in the first half, I thought, well, he had a toe injury. And I thought, all right. I said it on my podcast at the volume last night. I said, he's obviously can't drive the ball. Every one of his interceptions was behind the guy, and they kind of hung in the air. There was no zip on the ball. And Purdy came out after the game and said, it had nothing to do with my toe. Oh, so you were just awful against Carolina that has no pass rush. Listen, we watched Matt Stafford on Sunday Night Football. That's a Hall of Famer. Mastery of the position. Big arm, pre-snap, looks left, fires right. Last night, you saw two average quarterbacks. One's making a fortune, and one wants to make a fortune. 5 picks total, multiple bad throws to open receivers. And remember, the NFL's not baseball where we care about history. It's not the NBA where style matters. The NFL, when you're a quarterback, it's about your last 20 starts. It's about now. Last 20 starts, Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, and Bryce Young. Matt Stafford's 43-5. That is an elite franchise quarterback. 43 touchdowns, 5 picks. Bryce Young at least has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio with a bunch of kids at wide receiver. Brock Purdy, 30 touchdowns, 19 picks. And by the way, on Monday Night Football, he presses because he wants to show everybody in a standalone game, hey, I belong. Monday Night Football in his career, 5 touchdowns, 11 picks, 75 passer rating. So I said in August, Rams are going to win the division, best roster. Seattle's close. San Francisco third. In fact, the only 2 things with the Niners this year that have blown me away, Robert Saleh deserves a head coaching job. What he is doing without Warner, without Bosa, without Hufanga, who's now with Denver, I don't know how they're doing it. It's just kids. And I mean, Bryce Young was great a week ago. He was atrocious last night. So, and Christian McCaffrey is, I mean, honestly, he should get paid overtime. I mean, he is the offense. But everybody keeps trying to convince me, Colin, you're tough on Brock Purdy. No. You're trying to convince me he's elite. If you'd stop doing that, I'd stop talking about him. Well, he's smart. So was Aristotle. I need elite quarterback traits. Arm, size, mobility. Like Bryce Young is not a franchise quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback. He's not a backup. He's a bridge. But nobody's trying to convince me he's an all-timer. So you guys keep trying to convince me, this is what it looks like. When he had a stacked roster and people didn't have a lot of film on him, he was at Iowa State, and he was healthy. It was kind of fun, and he moves pretty well. Said it last week after the Arizona game. He moves pretty well. But do you know since he entered the NFL, he leads the NFL in interceptions on first down? Leads the NFL. That is the easiest, most favorable down to pass on. So last night, his 3 picks, they were all behind the receivers. None of them had any velocity behind them. So he may say the toe is fine. It's not. You can tell. He's not at 100%. But on throws down the field last night, he was 1 for 8 with 3 picks. But this year on throws, just 10 yards down the field, he's the NFL's worst quarterback. 1 touchdown, 7 picks. So, well, Colin, once you make $53 million a year, that's more than Mahomes, and it's more than Matt Stafford. If you made $12 million a year or you had Bryce Young's contract, I wouldn't care. Or if you weren't trying to convince me, my eyes don't lie. Yours don't either. Those 3 picks, those are not $53 million a year throws. In fact, ask yourself this. After the game, listen to what the reporters asked Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, he was asked to that answer. He was asked if he considered benching Brock Purdy. Has anybody ever asked if Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Justin Herbert should be benched? Again, if you make $53 million, you can never ask that question. I think you should maybe consider Mac Jones. What? You're paying him $53 million. I'm not anti-Brock Purdy. He's fine. But he's really inconsistent, not good throwing downfield. That's all I'm saying. If you stop trying to convince me he's in that upper crust, then I'll stop talking about it. Okay, so I don't think Shedeur Sanders is upper crust, but I want to talk about this. He's going to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns, I would imagine, the rest of the way. I think we've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel. So over the course of my life, and you've probably noticed this too, there are certain people that walk into a room and they take the oxygen out of it. They're negative, they're risk averse, they're rigid. They like just suck all the energy and oxygen and vibe out of the room. And then there are people that come into a room and they're optimistic, and they've got a little juice, and they've got a lot of confidence, and they want to take a big swing in life. That's Shedeur Sanders. I don't care about the stats. Watching him and then watching Dillon Gabriel, one guy plays it safe and one guy throws it down the field and takes swings. And pro football locker rooms are 55 alphas. It's guys who take swings. It's aggressive men. And Robert Griffin III, RG3 on the show yesterday, said he noticed that.
When you watch the game, the Browns played with more energy, more purpose, and more excitement than they have all season long because of his ability to make the extended play. And with that comes mistakes. He threw a bad interception, but he bounced back really well off of it. I think he has the pulse of the team, the pulse of the city. He is self-aware that he believes he is going to be successful. So he speaks confidently. He walks around confidently, and that is why he's not afraid.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched him against the Raiders, and it's the Raiders, but it's an NFL team, it looked like Colorado Shedeur. Throws the ball down the field, and he's accurate. Dillon Gabriel plays it safe, right? And bosses love employees who play it safe and never get the boss in trouble. He runs all the plays. Shedeur doesn't. He plays with more confidence. He takes more risks. Dillon Gabriel, do you realize this, led the NFL? He was last in the NFL in yards per attempt this year. Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders led the entire league this Sunday in yards per attempt. They're the opposite. They're literally the opposite kind of quarterback. So, and my take, if you're Cleveland, is you're not going to get rich in life investing in 401ks. You can get comfortable or content. Dillon Gabriel's not even a 401k. He's that savings bond grandma gave you when you were 9. Like there's just no upside. It's safe. He's not taking any risks. But I think in pro football locker rooms, that kind of pulls the energy and the juice out of the room. You got 55 NFL bodies. I mean, Myles Garrett's reaction to Shedeur Sanders is, oh, this is fun. We got a guy. So now I think Shedeur's a little goofy. I like my quarterbacks to be serious and intense. I really like Peyton Manning. I really like the intensity of Lamar Jackson, who gets mad at himself. I like serious, intense, totally focused quarterbacks. And Shedeur's a little goofy. He's a little casual. I think sometimes he's a little juvenile. He feels like a kid. But I don't think you can deny that there's a different feeling when he's the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. It just looks and feels differently, and that's why he should start. A little goofy for my taste, but he does add something, as RG3 talked about. And by the way, I have no problem with joyful, funny professional athletes. Somebody told me this years ago. If you're in a serious profession like accounting or tech, have a sense of humor, lighten up. And if you're in a funny or an entertainment field, music, sports, comedy, take it seriously. Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld take comedy seriously. So did Letterman and Leno. They take comedy seriously. It's a real career. Ricky Gervais, it's a real career. I like my quarterbacks in entertainment, my musicians, my singers. You know, it's Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney, Bono. They take it seriously. John Bon Jovi still touring, making money, take it seriously. When you get into sports, I like really focused, because there's goofballs everywhere in entertainment. Music and the movies and comedy, there's goofballs everywhere. In those kind of careers, I think you got to be a little bit more serious. To me, Shedeur's a little goofy for me, but he's a joyful kid, and I think he should start.